Hey everyone, it's Kelly. I am back today with week 3 in my 2021 Project Life album. And today I'm going to be using a combination of some different products. I'm going to be using some cards from Feed Your Craft, and I'm also going to be using some cards from Studio Calico. I have a lot of photos again this week. So far in my Project Life for 2021, week 1 had an insert, week 2 had a flap, and this week is going to have a flap as well because I have too many photos to fit on my double page spread. So right now I'm still just kind of going around trying to pick out cards. I have that photo on the bottom right hand side that has the 400,000 on it, and there's a lot of white space at the bottom of that. So I thought about trimming this black Project Life card down and adding it as just a border along the edge of that photo. But as soon as I trimmed it and placed it there, I realized that it was a little bit too dark and I didn't really love it. So I just left it there for the time being to see if I come across something else that will work better. Now I'm going to trim down this photo and back it up with a Project Life card. I like to do that when there's a lot of empty space on my photos. It adds more color and it also helps me use up my cards. I have quite a few kit subscriptions coming in every month, so I am never short on cards, so I want to try to use as many as possible. Now, because I trimmed the white border off that photo when I trimmed it down to add it to that card, I just used some white cardstock and added just a small white border around the photo before adhering it down to the card. Week 3 was when the presidential inauguration happened, and I actually had a few different photos from that event. I had a news article, I think it was from the New York Times. I can't read it on my editing screen here. I'd also grabbed another screenshot, and then I also had a screenshot of one of the Bernie Sanders memes. It's in the top right hand corner of the screen right now, but I ended up not having room for that. So I just ended up adhering two of the photos together from the inauguration, and I'm just going to add that onto a card. So right now I am just working on some stamping, and I will have all the stamps listed in the description box below if you're interested in what stamps I used. But while I'm going around and doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start to walk you through the week. So my title card on the upper left hand side, which I will add my week number to, is a card from Feed Your Craft. Week 3 also happened to be the week of my son's birthday, so that kit that from Feed Your Craft that I'm using some of the cards from was a celebratory kit, so it ended up working out perfect for this week. So the photo right next to the title card is a collage that I grouped together. It was of my son with his birthday cake and he was blowing out the candles. I will have a flip pocket for the photo because I do have some more photos back behind that I'm going to use as well. The photo that is directly underneath the project, or I'm sorry, directly underneath the title card is the photo that I trimmed down to go onto that Project Life card. And it was just a picture of my husband with our 3 dogs. They were all begging for something that he was eating, and I just thought it was funny to see all of them sitting like that. The photo next to that, that is actually a screenshot that I took from my phone. I have been participating in Thursday 3 on Instagram, and it is amazing the number of selfies that I take before I find one that I like to post. So I just took a screenshot of all of the photos on my camera roll and added a little bit of journaling there. I also have the presidential inauguration that I've already talked about. I'm going to go back to that card, and I have this painterly swatch stamp set from Illustrated Faith. And I wanted to highlight that this event happened on a Wednesday. So on that card that I added those photos to, there's all the days of the week. So I took that painterly swatch stamp and I'm going to add some yellow ink and I'm going to stamp over the day Wednesday because that was the day of the week that this happened. And I'm just right now I'm going through and I'm just testing a couple different yellows to figure out which yellow is going to match the colors on my spread the best. The photo that is next to that is a photo of my husband. He is on a step ladder and we are in my scrapbook room. We were hanging shelves together, and I don't know about you, but whenever we try to do any home improvement projects, it usually ends up with some frustration, but we did really well this time. It went fairly smoothly and everything got done without any, I don't want to say harsh words, but without any frustration. So that was a victory in my book. So on the bottom left-hand side is a photo of a sunrise that I snapped at work. I had just not been feeling very optimistic, very hopeful. And when I saw that sunrise that morning, it was just beautiful and it just completely filled me with a sense of hope. And I did add that journaling to that card or to that photo as well. So now I have actually started working on the flip pocket, and I want to add the number 13 to the inside of the flip because it was my son's 13th birthday. So I thought initially that I would take these number stamps from Elle Studio and that I would stamp them out in red and then add them to the inside of that card. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just going to stamp them down with red ink, and then I'm going to do the outline in black, and then I'm going to run them through my die cutting machine. So after I do that, I realize that I don't really like it. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's the color or the size of the 13, but it just wasn't what I was looking for. So I went back through my stash of products and I came across these chipboard numbers from Studio Calico, and the greens matched really well. And there was actually the 1 and the 3 were both in green. So I took that as a sign to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then underneath that flip pocket is a picture of his cake. And we actually had a friend of mine from college. She made his birthday cake. So I added that journaling. And then I also have another card from Feed Your Craft that will be underneath there. It's the card with the birthday cake on it. And it says, I think it says Make a Wish, which you'll see that in a little bit more detail in the still shots at the end. So now I am working on the photo that's going to be in the bottom right hand side. That is the one that I had originally trimmed down, that black Project Life card. And I end up going back through my stash and I have these grid patterns from Feed Your Craft. And I decided to go with a green color. It matched the green in the other products that I used really well. And I'm going to add some stamping. This is a stamp set from Ali Edwards. And then I'll also bring in one from Paper Person. And it just says coronavirus and in the news. This week we hit 400,000 deaths in the United States, which is just shocking and just absolutely horrible. So I took a screenshot and also took a screenshot of some of the text from the news article to include as journaling for that photo. All right, so now let's move on to the right-hand side of the spread. So all the photos and the journaling card that I have in the top column on the right-hand side, they all go together. I have a photo that I took of the table when my husband and we had a breakfast date. And then we had also taken our dog Maya to the groomer for the first time. And we did all of this all on the same day. So the card that is in between those two pictures just has all of the journaling for what happened that day. In the middle column, I have a picture of our other dog, Liam. He is laying on my lap, and it was just kind of a picture looking down at him. I have another photo that says love these moments, or I'm sorry, another card that says love these moments. And then next to that, I have a photo that I took from inside my car. It's actually of my husband in one of the mirrors in my car. He was pumping gas, and I just talked about how grateful I am that he always does that for me. Even in the summer, winter, no matter what it is, he will pump gas. If he knows my car is low, he always asks me how much gas I have, and he'll fill it up for me so I have enough to get to work, which I appreciate so, so much. Next to that is a screenshot of a series that we were watching on Netflix, and I just added a little bit of stamping to that as well. The photo on the bottom right-hand side is a picture of my husband and son, and I added some text to that photo, and it just talks about how we celebrated my son's 13th birthday. We actually celebrated it over 3 different days, and we had a lot of fun. So that was a picture that I took of them when we went out to dinner. I did add a die cut from Feed Your Craft that was from the same kit that I'm using here. And I also added a chipboard piece from Studio Calico. Those two greens matched perfectly, and I was super, super happy with how well they went together. In the 4x6 pocket that is next to that, I'm going to have a 3x4 card and then also a 3x4 photo. It was just a selfie that I took in my car with my coffee. I have been totally loving chestnut praline iced lattes lately from Starbucks. So I added a stamp that says, I think it says coffee time, and I'm going to add a few embellishments to that as well. So I'm sticking with a color scheme here. I have mainly yellows and greens with a few pops of red. So as I'm looking for embellishments in my stash, those are the embellishments that I'm going for. So I added some hearts. There's puppy hearts from Elle Studio, and then I have some chipboard pieces that are from older Studio Calico kits that I'm going to be bringing in as well. I love when I can use up my stash. That is something that brings me immense joy right now, is to go through my stash and just use up as much as I can. So if it worked on this spread, I'm going to use it. I have a little bit of gray happening with my color scheme here too, which is a neutral, but I wanted to bring in just a couple gray embellishments just to kind of spread that around the page. So I had that gray chipboard piece that fit really nicely in that spot on the card that's on the top right hand side. So I will use that there. I also was trying to decide what color alphas I wanted to use for my title card. This spread is very busy, so I didn't want to add too many more color schemes. I didn't want to make the title card too bright, and I have these alpha stickers from Elle Studio, and I thought that they matched really well. But when I put the card back up there, I realized that I needed to kind of spread around the green that I had on the spread. So I'm just shifting things around, just trying to get the colors a little bit more balanced across the spread. And I do this for quite a while, and I do end up switching it. I end up moving quite a few things around from the original position that I had them in. And sometimes that happens as I'm working on my spreads. It doesn't always end up in the pocket that I initially thought that it would be in. And I do want to mention too, this is kind of off topic, but my 60-pound dog is asleep on my lap right now as I'm recording this voiceover, and he is a loud breather when he sleeps. So hopefully that's not too distracting if the microphone picks that up. All right, so back to the spread. I used my Thickers alignment tool, which I have never used that before. I bought them at not TJ Maxx, at Tuesday Morning years ago, and I've never used them, and they worked really really well for those alpha stickers, so I'm gonna have to remember that for upcoming projects. But I want to add a label underneath week 3 to add the date on there, just so that I just like to add my dates. I know I have the week number on there too, but I like to know what dates correlate with the week number. That tabletop photo that I have had a lot of empty space in the left-hand corner, so I grabbed another stamp and it says "Food is my mood" and added that there, and then I'll add another one of the puppy hearts to that photo, and that pretty much finishes up this week's spread. I'm going to bring in lots of still shots here at the end so you can see things in detail. Please let me know if you have any questions about any of the techniques or any of the products that I used. Again, I will link everything that's still available in the description box below if you want to check out any of those products. And I just want to thank you all so much for watching. And I also want to give a big thank you to those of you who have been leaving comments and liking the videos. It really is such a help to me to know if these are projects that I should continue investing my time in and continue to make these type of videos. The Project Life videos seem to be very popular, so it's something that I will continue to do. I'm still planning on doing my Life Crafted videos on Mondays, at least for the time being. The views haven't been super great on those, but it's a new series, so I want to give it a little bit more time to see if it gains some momentum. So let me know, again, like I said, if you have any questions, and please feel free to leave a comment. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you happen to be new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe. Again, I just want to thank you all so much for watching. It really does mean the world to me when you leave comments and when we can have conversations about crafty projects. So I hope you all have a great day. Bye.